The first thing, as far as our common essays, even if you haven't committed any ideas to paper yet, hopefully, you've been brainstorming just points to help you build your body paragraphs. Also, hopefully you've been trying to, come up with an idea for your thesis statement. All right. But if you haven't, started that process, get started on it, man. Get started. And just like, I said with the instructor chosen essay, all right, it's really just, the amount of thought that goes into it in the beginning that's going to help you, in the long run. So start thinking about it, then commit your ideas to paper. Okay. All right. Now, okay. Just a few things. I really wanted to touch on thesis statements one more time because again, it's such an important part of your essay. So I just wanted to say a few words about that. Talk a little bit more about how to structure your body paragraphs, and then I'll transition into the midterm. All right, but I'm just going to open these slides, these thesis statements born a crime, and I'm not going to go through all of them. In fact, I'm just going to show just kind of picking up where I left off Tuesday. All right. Remember, folks, try to get your thesis statement together because that's like the glue of your essay. Or no, basically it's the compass of your essay. Or better yet, it's the map of your essay. Okay. Took me 3 tries, but I got it. All right. So thesis statement. All right. This is important. This is the point I wanted to hit on. Okay. It's the answer to a question asked in the writing prompt. All right. Even if it's not a question, it's what are you being told to do? All right. So when you see on our prompt, right, discuss the ways in which Patricia chose Trevor Love, just paraphrasing it, but um, your thesis statement is going to be a response to that. All right. Your thesis statement is going to be a response to whatever's in the prompt. All right. This is from a couple books ago. Okay. And then just something about place, or you know what? It's a roadmap for your paper, just like I said. Let your audience know what to expect and let you know to stay on topic. And then usually a single sentence at the end of your intro. Okay. I'm just gonna skip to these do's and don'ts. Okay. And this is kind of a review from what we covered before. But these thesis statements are different, or some of them are different from the one that's on your the strategies guide, the common essay strategies guide. But I just want you to keep these 4 things in mind, as you're putting your thesis statement. One, like I was saying Tuesday, try to stay away from many ways. All right. That phrase many ways because it really doesn't reveal anything to your reader. Also, when you put your paper together and you have a phrase like many ways in your thesis statement, um, it's just hard to give a paper like that direction because many ways can mean many things. All right, so try to stay away from phrases like this in your when you put your own thesis statement together. So in an initial draft you may say Trevor's mother Patricia showed him love in many ways, and my feedback on that, if I was to give you feedback on the draft, it would be like, well, what do you mean many ways? All right. And then you revised and came back and said something like, Trevor's mother, Patricia, showed her love for him by letting him face the consequences of his actions and showing him a better world. So now we have a couple points to build on. All right. So now we know in our minds, right, our essay is going to be a discussion of how Patricia let him suffer the consequences of his actions, and it's going to be a discussion of how Patricia showed Trevor a better world. But when you say many ways, go back and think about, well, what do I mean specifically? or what are some of these ways that she showed Trevor love? All right. Again, just avoid announcements, of course. In this paper, I will discuss how Trevor's mother used tough love. And she did. But don't say what you're gonna do. Just do it. Okay, just do it. Although living through racism and poverty was a challenge, Trevor Noah's mother used tough love to teach him some valuable life lessons. Okay. Now we're getting more specific. Okay, and then now we're not making an announcement. Same with this one. How does Trevor mother's show her love for him? Don't ask a question as your thesis statement. Your reader is looking to you for answers. All right. So don't hit them with another question, as your thesis statement. Hit them with the statement. Um, just think about the idea, that you want them to accept, or the idea that you want to build your paper on, or the idea that you want to show examples of in your own paper. Patricia often used tough love to discipline Trevor, but her love helped him thrive in a hostile environment. Okay. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions with your thesis statement. All right. And then the final one is too subjective, meaning it's too much too opinionated. All right. I feel Patricia is a great woman for all she did for Trevor. One, it's very subjective. Also, it really doesn't say anything, because what is a great woman mean? All right. What I'm saying is that means different things to different people. All right. And then for all she did for Trevor, what does that mean? Okay. So try to go more specific, and then try to keep. We had the discussion about I think, I feel, in my opinion, phrases like that. So the revision could say something like, Patricia's unconditional love for her son protected him from harm and empowered him to rise above his surroundings. Okay. Now you got something to build on. Now you have something to show your reader, something specific, because now you can look back in your book, right, and start pulling out those specific examples. Or, when you put your body paragraphs together, you just have the examples to discuss. All right. And like I was saying before, you can use these ideas. I don't care. Just don't do a word for word. Okay. Bam. Thesis statement is like a contract. That's really the way I teach it. It's like a contract, because it tells your reader, here's what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to stick to this idea, right? I'm going to stick to these points, or this point in my thesis statement, and I'm not going to go off topic. Okay. So always, when you put your body paragraphs together, always check your work. Check it against your thesis statement. Okay. Does this paragraph belong? Does this example, support this point that I'm making throughout my paper? All right. And then we talked about plans of development, right? Um, just indicating the points you're going to discuss in your paper in the order that you're going to discuss them. That's fine. And then just to review, okay? Thesis statement is the controlling idea of your essay. What does that mean? Your thesis statement tells every other paragraph in your essay what to do. So it's the controlling idea. It's the idea, that you're going to be reinforcing throughout the essay, reinforcing with examples throughout your essay. It's never a question. It's never an announcement. In this paper, I'm going to discuss. Never an announcement, and then it's never a broad statement, and it's never a statement that's too subjective. Like I feel, I think, usually placed at or near the end of your introduction paragraph, but we're going to place ours at the end. All right, just keeping it traditional. And then it clearly states the main idea of your essay. The emphasis is on clearly. One of the tests that I have in English 1510, when I'm conferencing with students about drafts of their essays, the first question I will ask them, what's your paper about? And the answer to that question is usually the thesis statement. All right. But if the student is saying, well, basically it's about, or, it's about, and it's some unclear answer, that lets me know that they need to work on their thesis statement. All right. So when someone asks you the question, right, what's your paper about? Oh, it's how Trevor's mother's love helped him navigate poverty as a child, guided him through a racist society, and showed him that anything was possible. Okay. So thesis, when a thesis statement is clearly stated, it shows what your paper is going to be about in very clear terms. Okay. So, and thesis statements, they aren't set in stone until you submit your final draft. So thesis statements go through revisions as well. So in your first draft, just try to get a good idea, that you want to build on. We can always say it differently, right? Or we can always add, we can always take something out. We can always make it more specific. But I think, just get the ball rolling, in your first draft. Okay. And if you want to view the rest of these slides, you want to view this presentation in its entirety, this is in the week 8 module. All right. Now, Tuesday, I also talked about pie paragraphs, right? Point, information, explanation. I've added another document. This is just a link. Yeah. Excuse me, it's a link to a website, and it gives you the rundown. It also has some other good stuff at the end. But let me, I have uploaded this as well. Just an example of a pie paragraph that is, specific to our text. So there's one on this document, this common essay strategies. There's an example here, and then here's another example. Okay. And it already has some annotation there. All right. It looks long, but it's not as long as it appears because we're going to remove some of this stuff. All right. And it's not, visualize this as being part of a larger paper, of course. So this would be one body paragraph in an essay, in the essay that you're writing. All right. And this essay utilizes the pie method: point, information, explanation. Remember, the point is the topic sentence, or the point is the main idea of the paragraph. Okay. Information, right? That's your example, right? That's that material you pull from the text. You can quote, of course, and you can do what I'm doing here. Discuss in your own words, of course. Okay. Discuss your example. What details does your reader need to know? Okay, in order for them to understand this example that you're using, or to understand this point that you're making. Okay. And then the explanation is your follow-up in your own words. Follow up to your information or your example. Like I said, Tuesday, never, 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 never. Okay, never. All right. Start or end a body paragraph with a quote. Always start with the topic sentence and then always end with your own words. Okay, so let's check this paragraph out. Here's our topic sentence, or here's the point if we're using the pie method. Trevor's mother may have been hard on him at times, but she always supported him when he needed it most. Okay, so what do we just tell our reader? This paragraph is going to include an example of how Patricia, had Trevor's back or supported him when he needed it most. Okay, so here's our point. It's cool. It's just when you're late, Robin, you got to cash up everybody $5. Okay. I'll put my cash app in the chat for you. All right. Okay. So here's our topic sentence. All right. Trevor's mother may have been hard on him at times, but she always supported him when he needed it most. Now we have to give an example of that. As a 6th grade student, share mine too, John. As a 6th grade student, At Maryville Catholic School, Trevor unfortunately experiences being bullied. He sure does. Okay. And, just the details, right? Don't just say when he was in middle school, what school did he go to? What grade is he in? Okay. Unfortunately, experiences being bullied. Okay. Now we have our first stoppage or our first strikeout. All right. No one wants to be bullied. It can be very traumatizing. You're right. No one does want to be bullied. And yes, it can be very traumatizing, but, and have lasting effects. But, all right, that's not the direction that we'll want this paragraph to go in. We don't want to give our personal thoughts about bullying. Okay, bullying is a terrible thing. All right, from from elementary school to politics to the workforce to everything else. All right, bullying is no bueno. But okay, doesn't have a place in this paragraph. Same thing, just noting that it can be traumatizing and have lasting effects, certainly can. It certainly can, but don't take your reader off topic. You're discussing an example from the book, so stick with it. Okay, so don't include this little like meta commentary. All right, even though that does have some value, but just in this paper, keep it by the book. Okay, as a sixth grade student at Maryville Catholic School, Trevor unfortunately experiences being bullied. So we're getting rid of this because it distracted our reader. All right, it's much better. When a bully threatens to beat him up the following day, Trevor brings a knife to school to protect himself. Although Trevor said he had no intention of using the knife, the school's principal gives him an ultimatum after he discovers the knife. See, we're discussing, we're explaining, okay? We're showing our reader what happened. We're giving them an example, but we're also answering that question. Well, what do they need to know in order for this example to make sense? All right. You don't have to retell the entire book. You don't have to include every minute detail, but give them the broad strokes of whatever example you're using. All right. Essentially, the principal tells him to either conform to the rules of the school or don't return. Trevor chooses the latter and is promptly expelled. Hearing the news of their child being expelled from school will send most parents through the roof with anger, but Patricia supported Trevor's decision to leave Maryville. Now, let's check our work. She always supported him when he needed it most. Okay, he just got put out of school. Sounds like the boy needs his mama. And here she is. Patricia supported Trevor's decision to leave. Okay. Follow through with your topic sentence, right? Follow through with your topic sentence. Okay. Now, good people of English 1060, we have the first quote of this paragraph. Okay. And as you can see, good people, this quote is very short. Okay. Very short. So don't get in the habit of, well, there's a couple bad habits when it comes to quoting. The first one is don't overquote in a paragraph, meaning don't let the quote take up the majority of the paragraph. All right. And really don't let quotes take up the majority of an essay. All right. I've created the assignment folder for this essay. And once you submit your assignment, after, I don't know, a minute or so, you can refresh the page and then there'll be a little percentage next to your submission. That percentage indicates how much of that has come from an outside source, meaning our book, or how much of it is direct quotes, or how much of it came from somewhere else, is what I'm saying. All right. Some material is just going to get picked up, like common phrases, that's going to get picked up, or maybe it'll get picked up, but typically, try to stay under 15% or at or under 15%. Okay. Do your best. Do your best. All right. Now, the second thing is the second mistake people make with quotes. Just make sure you use a quote that supports the point you're making. Okay. And then format it properly, right? So if you remember from the other day, we have our three elements of a quote. Okay, the first element is the signal phrase. And you can go with the tried and true Trevor writes, that's fine. Okay. But this one's a little bit more descriptive. But if you just want to go Trevor writes, Trevor notes, that's fine. Trevor says, that's cool. Trevor describes how his mother had his back after he was expelled. Whatever signal phrase you use, put your comma there. Like if this was just Trevor writes, or Trevor writes, we'll pretend this says writes. Okay, we'll just write it. Okay, and you didn't have any of this. Okay, this is perfectly fine. All right, perfectly fine. So, but again, just make sure you have a comma here and then start your quote. Uh, type it up exactly how it is in the text with capitalization, punctuation, and everything. And then here's your citation, last name, page number. Or if you're already a few quotes in and we're only using the one source, this would just be the page number. And then our punctuation, our period goes on the outside. So now, good people, here's the point of this paragraph, right? Here's the information in this paragraph, okay? And now here's the explanation. Remember, always follow up your quotes. Patricia could have sided with Maryvale and punished Trevor for bringing a knife to school and being expelled, but she chose to have her son's back, showing him that her love was unconditional. Uh-oh, here we go. We went off the tracks a little bit. Went off the beaten path a little bit. It surprised me that she stood with him through this whole ordeal. That's good, you know, that you made that kind of connection, that you're engaging like that. All right, but we don't need that. Okay, again, we don't need the personal commentary. All right, as much as we as faculty like, you know, for our students to have thoughts, you know, about this material, try not to include sentences like that in the body of your essay. And you know, like I was saying, it disrupts our unity. Okay, it disrupts the unity of our paragraph, so we distracted our reader a little bit, but we picked back up. The incident at Maryville was one of many instances where Patricia showed her undying support for her son. Now, let's say we're ready for another paragraph, our next paragraph. Okay. I will word this differently because I mean she encouraged him to pursue a relationship, is what I would say after revision. But maybe this next paragraph, okay, maybe this is the topic sentence. All right, or this is the idea. Maybe you want to word it differently. An additional way Patricia showed her undying support. So, an additional way, we started off with the transition that, you know, connects this paragraph to this paragraph. Okay. So, think about the elements that should go in your body paragraphs. Topic sentence. That's the first thing. Topic sentence states the main idea, their relevant supporting details. And when you discuss an example, discuss it. Okay, you see here, and then if you remember from the other day, or if you look back at the Common Essay Strategies document, where there's the example of, you know, Trevor and Andrew being thrown out of that car. All right, and then here, there's the example of, Trevor being asked to leave school. Okay. So there's enough detail, even though your reader has not read the book, there's enough detail for them to understand what's going on. All right. You don't have to rewrite the book, like I said, but try to give them enough to where they understand, what's going on. Okay. And then the comments on the side are, just for explanation. Okay. This is the example we were just looking at, pi paragraph. Okay, here's that link to the website that gives you a breakdown of what a pi paragraph is. If you missed our session Tuesday, watch the recording because I'm going over this. Okay. And then if you want some additional material about thesis statements, is right here as well. Okay. There's material in your book, of course, about your little seagull about thesis statements, but this is, and you can review that material, of course, but this is specifically geared toward our book, Born to Crime. All right. Now, okay, we do okay. Now, back in the week 8 module. No, I'm not. Okay. No, I am. All right. There's a couple things in here. Okay, one, here's the assignment folder for your common essay. All right. When you're ready to turn it in, just get yours in. Let me see if I can show you the what I'm talking about that thing. Just find the document. I don't know what this is, but I'll put it in here. All right. So in a second, when I go back here, I should be able to see my percentage total, but I'll come back to that. All right. To get to the midterm, okay, just click on it. All right. And there's two versions of this. It's the same article, but one is a Word document and the other is a PDF. All right. You can pick which one you want to read and annotate, but choose one. All right. If you have Word, Word is actually the easiest way to do this. All right. Or maybe the neatest way to do it, I should say. Okay. You can annotate on PDFs, using certain functions, but maybe it's just because what I'm used to. I don't know. But Word looks much neater. All right. Which one is this? Is this the, yes, the PDF. I want to do the one first. Okay. Now, if you're using Microsoft Word to do this, okay, here's what you want to do. You just want to read it, and then you want to take notes, right? Just like we've been doing the entire semester with our copy of Born to Crime. Okay. You can highlight. All right. Let me get rid of this. Okay. To highlight, using Word, you just drag your mouse over whatever you want to highlight, and then you can click your, let me move you guys out of the way. You can just click your highlighter. Okay. You can swap colors if you want, just hit the drop down arrow. Try to stay in these top 4 colors only because the rest of them, they kind of block out the text. So you can use these, okay? But like we said in the very beginning of the semester when we talked about active reading strategies, all right, only highlighting is a passive reading strategy. How can we make this into an active reading strategy? We can add comments or we can take notes, okay? The easiest way to take notes in Microsoft Word, okay, just highlight where you want to put a note, and then it depends on how you have your shortcut set up, but you can go right click and just hit new comment. All right. And then once you get your comment in there, you can just hit this little send thing. All right. And there's your comment. There's another way. There's a few ways to get to comments. Again, I just highlighted this and right clicked it and then brought up this menu. There's another way to do it though. This is kind of a long way. All right. Just highlight it, go into review, and then go new comment. Okay. And then finally, and this is what I do because I have to use the comments so much because I read a lot of papers. So I'm just gonna go up to new comments, right click it, and then I'm gonna add it to my quick access toolbar. And that puts it up here. If you can see where my mouse is moving around up here. And then when I want to do a comment, I can just click right up here and then okay. What kind of comments do you want to make? Right? You want to make your text to stealth connections, text to text connections, text to world connections. Is anything in this article, similar to the US? Definitely look for connections with Born a Crime. Okay. Definitely look for connections to Born a Crime. Mark those out. Okay. Mark out words you don't know, and then look them up and put the definitions, in your comments. Okay. Write your reactions. Okay? Write your thoughts. All right. Some of them are going to be long like this. Some of them are just going to be like this. Um, you can make comments on the images. All right. So you can comment on the images. I just double clicked and then just put my comment next to it. As you can see, there's a lot of this article looks longer than it really is. Okay, one, the text is a bit large. What size font is this, man? Oh, 10 and a half. Never mind. All right. But it's a crazy font, so it's not it's this is a little bit bigger than Times New Roman. Okay. There's charts. All right. But there's a lot of images, in this it's my cousin right there. No, it's not. It might be though. All right. Okay. Um, all right. Okay. Once you're done, save it. All right. And then just upload it in the assignment folder when you're done. Okay. When it comes to annotation, always go for quality over quantity. Okay. Meaning it's not about getting the most notes. It's about getting the most quality notes. Imagine you're gonna write a paper um after this. It really I've discussed your final assessment before, at the beginnings of the semester. this is what part one of your final assessment is going to look like at the end of the semester. Meaning you're going to have an article similar to this one to read and annotate. The only difference between the midterm and the final assessment is the final includes an essay. So you'll read the article, take notes, and then you'll be given a writing prompt, to put an essay together. So and then you'll be able to use the article in your notes, to put the essay together. So for your midterm, imagine that you have to write an essay. What notes are you going to take? Okay. What notes are you going to take? Or imagine you have to write an essay comparing what's in this article to Born a Crime. Okay. What notes are you going to take? And then, like I was saying, definitely, take notes on the things that stand out to you. Okay. Now, if you don't have Word, okay, even though you can have Word for free, just check out our D2L. All right. But if you are using a PDF, okay, you're just gonna have to you can still highlight. All right, highlighting is basically the same. Just drag your highlighter over whatever you want to highlight, and then you can take notes. You have to get the comment box and then drag it down to wherever you want to put your notes. Okay. I don't know if this comment went with this, but I'm just putting it in here. So you have to drag your the comment box down to where you want it, and then type your comment and then hit post. Okay. All right. So it's somewhat the same. All right. But again, when you finish it, okay, save it, and then upload it. Okay. Okay. Um, kind people. All right. Now, there's a third way to do your midterm. Okay. I mean, if you have a printer and you want to sacrifice the ink, and I say it's a lot of ink if you plan on printing because there's quite a few images, in these pages. So I don't know if printing will be the best option, but you can print, take notes by hand, and then scan it, and then put it back in the assignment folder. But that's just a lot of extra steps. All right. And then this is the final thing. Okay. Um, this is a video of me, pretty much saying what I just said. The only thing is this only goes through Microsoft Word. It doesn't include a discussion of PDFs. All right. And then here's some slides about annotation if you just need a refresher. Okay. Here's some notes for you, right? The only way your midterm is going to go bad for you is if you only underline or if you only highlight or if you don't take any notes at all. Okay. So practice annotation, practice annotation. Get that draft in. Get that draft in also. Okay. Get that draft in also. Start by brainstorming if you haven't done that already. Get your thesis statement. Okay. What you guys are gonna have in your first draft is called a working thesis. Working thesis just means you have the idea, but you're still working on it. Still working on it. Still working on maybe the phrasing. Still working on maybe you want to add some material to it. It's still a work in progress, but you have the basic idea there. All right. So go over that material, folks. Okay. The assignment folders are there. All right. Common essay. Okay, let's do it again Tuesday, good people. That's all I got for tonight. I said I wouldn't keep you that long.
Professor Norwood, I got a question. The midterm is due when?
Say it again.
The midterm, is it due tonight or is it due on
No,
Tuesday?
everything's due Tuesday.
Okay.
Everything is due Tuesday. Okay. Let's see. You all are very welcome, man.
Thank you.
Have a good night and have a good
Happy
extended
holiday.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a good extended weekend, folks. Be careful. Weather's getting nice. People taking the masks off. Everybody's going everywhere. Okay.
Mhm. Okay,
Yeah,
have a
have a
good
good
one.
weekend too, man. I'm just gonna lay outside in my hammock 72 hours straight.